I've been in a bad mood the whole stream. I was in a great mood when Kaylee was around, but then her friend killed herself and ruined everything.
Yep, it's that time. We gotta talk about Twitch again. And I'm actually rather invested in the health of the Twitch platform because I do my game streams there. I don't do my political streams there because I think they're even more authoritarian than YouTube when it comes to that sort of thing. But I do want Game Boomers to be a success in its own right. And that being said, please consider checking it out. And maybe this will come off as yet another Devo's an Old Man video, but I remember when Twitch was actually like a really high quality platform. I remember the Justin TV era before it took on the name of Twitch. I remember when Justin TV spun off all of the various game streams onto Twitch TV, and then kept Justin TV as being its own thing. I remember when Justin TV finally closed down because there was just no market for non-gaming streams at the time. And during that period, Twitch was literally just video games and nothing else. If you wanted to stream arts and crafts, or podcasts, or regular discussions, or anything else, there was nowhere to do it. In fact, when our channel during Gamergate had some blowout information about Phil Fish, the developer of Fez, and how he basically laundered money through the IGF. And yes, he did all that stuff. Check out my old video from 2014 about it. But because our channel only had a few thousand subs back then, and we wanted that news to reach everyone, we actually got Lord Cat to break the news on his Twitch stream first. There were thousands of people in there, and he had to be playing a game while delivering the news, because Twitch admins were in there saying, listen, you have to be playing a game, you can't just be here just talking about stuff. Put on a game or we're going to shut your stream down. I remember that quite vividly. But there was still a demand for non-gaming streams somewhere. And I think that's why around the same time, Twitch added just chatting and YouTube added the ability to live stream whatever you want. But now we have to talk about the Twitch thought. And the Twitch thought was always something that I think was going to be a blemish on the larger Twitch community. Even back before just chatting, where literally just hanging around looking cute and raking in the subs was not allowed on Twitch, women still did it, but they did it under the pretense of playing games. Sometimes they didn't play them very well. Sometimes they pretended to play them, but actually just had pre-recorded footage. Sometimes they just made themselves play them, even though they actually didn't like games at all. And even though I can't find any tweets from that era, I do remember people saying when Just Chatting came out, thank God, now I don't have to pretend to like video games anymore to stream. But even back in the day, you'd have women like Caseytron. Caseytron's actually capable of playing the games that she plays, at least sometimes. And she's actually a lot smarter than the character she plays on her stream. But there is a reason that her stream is absolute fucking cancer, and it's because it's a parody. This is actually a screenshot from one of her earlier streams from back in the day. And yeah, this is how she set it up. She's got the Brazzers logo, but instead it says Caseytron. She's got the non-functioning stream UI, like the sub goal and etc. She's got half of the gameplay covered up by the face cam, which is very obviously pointed at her cleavage. And the game capture itself, if you'll notice, is actually just the game in windowed mode, where you can see her computer's taskbar. This is, believe it or not, entirely intentional on her part. And at least back then, whenever people would come in and complain about Twitch thoughts and booby streamers and stuff, she would say, I don't expose my boobs, guys, what are you talking about? That's so sexist and offensive. And then she would like adjust her top to make sure that the maximum amount of cleavage is showing without actually showing any nipple. She knew exactly what she was doing. And in fact, when she appeared on other people's shows for interviews and stuff, she sounded a lot smarter. Because she is. Because, to Caseytron, this was a parody. She was making fun of women who actually do this. She made the most ghetto-ass stream she could, and then constantly offer up the worst excuses as to why it was that way. So much so that anybody who actually streams can see right through it pretty quickly and figure out what she's doing. And frankly, I think Caseytron was always kind of an edgelord.
Your groceries. We fix your computers. Anyone sees you before you see him. Sitting at desks around the world right now is a nameless, faceless, unforgiving mafia composed of the best of the best. There are things here that you will not understand and things you never will understand. If you cannot accept this, then GTFO now. Okay, they are also the reason for GTFO. Because there is no turning back. This is fortune, this is /B/. Okay? Okay, and that's the fucking truth. I'm actually going to go ahead and play a song really quick. I'm gonna play a song really quick. This is a song that they actually really like. You know, this is the kind of music they listen to on that website. This is the kind of music that they actually listen to. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and queue. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and queue for a game while you guys just listen to this filth.
Even back in 2014, the Twitch thought problem was well known enough that people like Caseytron were parodying it. And you know, good for her, that's actually a pretty good joke. Of course, the internet is not the fun place that it used to be, because Caseytron just recently met her end. A Twitch streamer was indefinitely banned after she said she'd spread the coronavirus if she could, because the world would be a better place without old and poor people. Being ridiculously over-the-top shallow for laughs has been the Caseytron staple for years, and she has been banned multiple times from multiple different platforms for doing it. But I guess in 2020, Twitch has just had enough of that. Another famous troll is, or was, Belle Delphine. I say was because I know that she made waves last year with the whole gamer girl bathwater thing, but she has since basically fallen off the internet. And yes, I do think it was pretty obvious that she's simply a troll. A hot troll, but still a troll. I mean, if the whole gamer girl bathwater thing didn't clue you in, and yeah, I wonder how many relationships that product ruined, I think her Pornhub channel also proves that to be the case. This is an official channel at pornhub.com of Belle Delphine. And dude, check it out, check it out. Belle Delphine gets a huge dripping cream pie. We gotta watch this. She was always a joke, and I'm pretty sure she made millions on it. But before, at least the problem was somewhat obvious. Twitch had girls that were very attractive, playing games, presenting what appeared to be a very attractive personality, and then taking in money for it. And a lot of the times, these girls weren't actively leading guys on or anything. They were simply being attractive in the public space and letting guys simp for them of their own accord. And young men, usually vulnerable and usually with disposable income, would stupidly send these women their money. Now, at least back then, the girls were smart enough not to make it so blatant. They weren't asking for money, they weren't demanding that you send it to them. Except for Caseytron, because that was part of the joke. But in general, they were just being happy and bubbly and attractive, and being extremely appreciative towards people who donate to them, which is obviously a good thing, but they also knew what was happening there. And at the very least, it seemed honest, you know? They weren't demanding anything, they just weren't refusing what men were giving them. And at the end of the day, it was the men's fault that they were giving so much. And most men didn't. Most of us were smart enough to see what was going on. Or at the very least, were smart enough to not spend money on women that they found attractive but would never actually get with, because it is the internet. So it wasn't a great state of affairs, but at least everyone was consenting to the arrangement, I guess. But that was then, and this is now. And some things have changed. Let me see if I can describe to you the difference. In this article from 2018, written by Patricia Hernandez, for women on Twitch, disclosing their relationship status is a minefield, a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. One story in the article is the case of Endless Sky. More often than not, people will still hit on me even after I tell them I'm not single. People that are going to creep will creep regardless of your relationship status, I've found. Endless Sky said that while most of her viewers are respectful, she generally doesn't talk about her relationship status on Twitch because she doesn't consider it to be relevant to her content. I don't hide the fact that I'm married. If someone asks, I will say yes. And I do have a firm boundary between my personal life and my Twitch life. I feel like it's a slippery slope mixing the two together, so I just prefer to keep it separate from business. And you know what? That's actually completely reasonable. Yes, you guys know that I'm dating Naomi, but there are some things about my personal life that you don't know and you probably never will. That's just how it is. And it works both ways. Even though I talk to people at least semi-regularly in Discord, there's still some things they're not going to tell me, and that's okay. We all have a personal life, and it sounds like, at least in the case of Endless Sky, she's honest about things and doesn't actually make the content about her being a sexy, very happy, very bubbly, very available single female. I wouldn't know because I don't watch her, But that's what I get out of reading this passage here. But another person this article talks about is Amaranth. And this is where things stop being innocent, at least in my opinion. This is an interaction between Amaranth and one of her mods, at least one of her mods at the time. He's now obviously an X-mod. I know that it's censored, and that's frankly because even though this image went viral, it went so viral that the non-censored version basically can't be found anymore. But if you search some of these passages, you will find that it was in fact said in reference to Amaranth. Despite the fact that Reddit's actually been scrubbing any of these passages in relation to Amaranth, you can still see Amaranth mentioned as being the person who says some of these blacked out areas in the Google cache for some of the now deleted pages. In any case, the mod says, "I'm on livestream fail and there's news you have a husband. This can't be true, right?" Amaranth replies, "I do have a husband, but obviously I'm not gonna mention him because then people get turned off by that idea. Do you know what I mean?" This is her directly admitting that, yes, she understands that a lot of her viewer base is from single men who are looking for cute single women who have the same interests as them, and she's actively playing that up. At this point, it's no longer innocent. She has admitted that she knows what she's doing, and that that's part of the appeal. She knows that viewers, and therefore donations, will bleed away if it comes out that she has a husband. So she's presenting as single. It's a very Japanese way of doing things, in fact, because I know that like a lot of Japanese pop idols, they'll have to basically keep any relationships they have a secret, or else they lose their status as being virginal or something. I don't quite understand it, but it does seem to be a thing. Anyway, the mod asks, "No, I don't understand. Why did you hide having a husband?" Amaranth replies, "Why is it any of your business anyways? Am I not allowed to keep that aspect of my life private?" And that's true. She's absolutely allowed to keep anything that she wants private. However, it does become an issue if the person that you're presenting yourself as is, one, available if they just donate enough, which, let's be honest, that is what Amaranth does, and two, you're obviously not playing a character like Casey Tron does. The mod replies, "I've been supporting you for 2 years now. I'm always moderating your chat, making sure dumbasses don't say shit about you. Do you know how much I support you? I always donate to you. I've given you thousands of dollars at this point." Amaranth replies, "And I'm still thankful for that?" The mod says, "And 2 months ago, do you remember what you said to me? I had just got off work, and I sent you a picture of my bored but tired face on Snapchat. And you said I looked cute. Obviously, you know how much I like you. I was gonna fly out to TwitchCon this year. I was hoping we'd maybe get a few drinks afterwards, just you and me, see where the night takes us. And now this comes out? I feel like such a moron." Amaranth says, "Don't say that. Listen, of course you're cute. I am so thankful to call you my friend. And you are such a big supporter of me, but I do have a husband and that's just how it is. I'm sorry if you had other intentions in mind, but I'm taken." This is another reason why I think Amaranth is not really that innocent. Maybe calling a guy who has an obvious crush on you cute is not the signal that you want to send. Maybe the signal that you want to send is, "I'm sorry, but we're just friends and I'm taken," which he does eventually send here, but only after he's given thousands of dollars. But at the same time, this is where it's also the man's fault, and he is still responsible for what he does. He says, "I don't need you. There are a whole lot of other streamers that deserve my time and support. As they say, there are plenty of other fish in the sea. Fish without husbands, too. You liar skank. I will no longer be dedicating 1/3 of my day to moderating your chat. Let the wildebeests roam, and if you need me, I'll be in ST Peach's chat from now on. You may not know this, but I actually do watch her streams after yours are over. And I've been a 6-month subscriber as well. I donated her $30 the other day and said her outfit looked cute. She said I'm a sweetheart. Things are looking up for me and down for you. This is where I bid farewell to you. Have fun being a liar bitch face." You know, dude, there are plenty of other fish in the sea. You are not going to be landing any of them. Start looking for a girl outside, okay? I just had to look this up. Apparently ST Peach is engaged. This is from 2018, so they're probably married at this point. But when this article was published, engaged to her boyfriend. And of course we have the headline, "Racist incels now living worst nightmare because the guy in question is Asian." Jay, who is Korean, has been targeted more often, being called Asian manlet, gook, Jesus, homo, Chinese, and lucky motherfucker. I don't know if this last one's an insult, man. But what happens when a person like Amaranth doesn't get what she wants, which is obviously the money? What happens when a person like Amaranth uses her looks and uses the platform that she has available to her, whatever skills she might happen to have, crafts a happy, bubbly, and available persona, and still doesn't get the male attention and, more importantly, the money that she's after. Well, thankfully, it does seem like men are slowly but steadily coming to understand that what they're doing isn't healthy, and that on some level they are being exploited. Yes, they're going along with it of their own accord, but they're still being exploited and they should stop going along with it. So what actually happens when the grift is up? It seems like, just like the title of that previous article, the guys who start to no longer give money get called incels. If I sold my used yoga pants, would you guys buy them? This is from Pink Sparkles. 20,000 people voted, 84% said no. Oh wow, okay, my sweat smells like roses, but whatever. Why buy used when you can buy them new, faster, and cheaper from Amazon? It was a joke, dude. Nobody seems to be able to take a joke in the gaming community if it's by a woman with a large chest. Fucking incels. Yeah, see, that's not the problem. The problem is that it wasn't a joke. If it had been 84% yes, you would have sold them and you would have made a killing. I can't complain about that, that's capitalism. But at the same time, capitalism is also a game of supply and demand, and you cannot complain if there is no demand for what you're supplying. And calling your potential customers fucking incels is not a way you can actually generate that demand. And as time goes on, more and more stories keep coming out about these random Twitch thoughts, and how things have gone from a more innocent exploitation, if there could ever be such a thing, to downright theft. Here's a clip from a streamer aptly named Boobles. As you can see, the top donator right now is a person named Disrupted Order, who has donated nearly $12,000 to her.
Let me tell you about all the shit that he was saying about the girls that were on the stream today. And me. He said, I'm so sick of it. You can literally, okay, I told him he was getting mad at me for the shit that I was saying on stream. You know, like saying that Canoe could slam me through a wall sexually and stuff like that. Some dumb fucking shit. Literally, he's saying to me, the slut shit is unattractive. The cocaine shit is unattractive. Your attitude is shit. You need to grow the fuck up. This is a top donator, by the way. This is not my fucking friend. This is not my fucking boyfriend. This is a guy that donates to my fucking stream and thinks that he's entitled to shit.
That sounds pretty crazy. This dude sounds like he's really creeping on her. But remember when she skipped over a whole bunch of those private messages? Maybe we should read them for ourselves. Boobles. So hypothetically speaking, if I were to borrow more money from you, how much could you give me? My mom said she could, but I have to wait like a week. Disrupted Order. I mean, you haven't even paid me back from the first time yet, and I really need to get a car. I sold my truck, so all I have is a company vehicle, which they don't like me driving outside of work. Boobles. Yeah, but I'm on the cusp of paying you back, just need to wait like a week. But as I said before, you can say no. Disrupted Order. Are you going to have enough to pay me back plus whatever you borrow now? Booble says, yep, because my mom is giving me money soon. I just need quite a bit, which is the sad part. Disrupted Order. Yeah, I don't have quite a bit. I had to pull out of my savings to help you last time. Why does the San Diego plan sound scary? Boobles. Well, if you want to give me what you can, I'll make sure I pay it all back. And because it's a big leap. Never done that before. Disrupted Order. I understand that, but sometimes the biggest leaps and risks have the biggest reward. What kind of money are you looking at? What do you need it for? Boobles. $300 and for groceries and house stuff in my internet bill. Yeah, I just don't see myself taking a big leap. It's just kind of scary. Disrupted Order says, I know I'm a bit biased, but I think I'm the right kind of guy to be taking a leap for. So I give you $300 today. You give me $2,300 when you get paid on the 13th, 14th, 15th? Boobles. Yes, one of those days I should be getting my Twitch check. Disrupted Order. You promise, as soon as you get it, I get paid back in full. Boobles says, yes. Disrupted Order says, deal. Putting it in your account now. Boobles replies, you're the best, hun. Now at this point, this seems like a loan, not a Twitch donation. However, they also talk about a San Diego plan, which actually sounds like some kind of real life stuff. And even in these DMs, it seems like maybe Disrupted Order has the wrong idea. Maybe he's pushing something he shouldn't be pushing. I don't know. Of course, he also released all of their private texts together, and I'm not going to go over them because there's literally 20 pages of text. It's going to take way too long. I'll put the link in the description of the video if you want to go see them yourself. However, I will point out a few important things. Just for context, the person on the left in red is Boobles, the streamer. The person on the right in blue is Disrupted Order, the donator. Get what you can. Give me a reason why I should. Because we love each other, and I need your help. How old am I? I don't know, like 32? You love my heart. You love that I have gone above and beyond what any sane person would do, but you don't know me. You don't know what my goals are and what I want. Yeah, but I know what your goals are with me. What's that? You want us to be together, and you want to take care of me so I can stream and do fun stuff, and you be there with me through it all and just live life. Tell me what I have to do to get you to help me. All I ever asked of you was to be honest with me and don't lie. Don't fuck around with other guys and put effort into figuring out what this is. I have no one else. You haven't done that. I want to be with you and I'm sorry. Bullshit. If you wanted me, you would already have me. It's really strange looking over these DMs, man. Like, this girl faked a relationship with this guy. And yet, looking at it objectively, you can always see the conversation come back around to money. Come back around to what she can get out of him. Actually leading him on. Promising to move in, but then not actually doing it or having some kind of excuse. Having wild stories about her parents, about being stalked, about being attacked, about trips to the hospital. It's insane. This person is a sociopath.
This is a top donator, by the way. This is not my fucking friend. This is not my fucking boyfriend. This is the guy that donates to my fucking stream and thinks that he's entitled to shit.
That is how these women view their fans. They view them as resources to exploit. Here's another one, though this one isn't quite so dramatic. I wish there was a way to mass block people who follow you but don't interact with your tweets. I've gained over 4,000 followers since last week, and my engagement hasn't gone up at all, lol. And of course, the clever chaps over at Super Nerdland reply with, no worries, we'll unfollow. Sorry, people following you are only worth it for engagement. Peace. And check out this reply from some other e-girl. Incels everywhere. Like I said, they view you as a resource, and if you refuse to be tapped like one, then you're an incel. You know, 5 or 10 years ago, the insult wasn't incel, it was MRA. 20 years ago, it was virgin. But at the end of the day, it's all the same thing. If you're a man who doesn't recognize your place as being useful to women, well, then you're problematic, I guess. I think the worst part of all is when people like this begin to demand your money.
How did my whole speech about how I need subs and to keep the stream going if you like the content, blah, 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 how that results in 0 subs? There are regulars here. $5 a month. How do you have hours of time to watch me and not $5? I don't know. What are you doing with your life where you have hours of time to watch Twitch and not $5 to provide for the content that you're watching?
There's no obligation to give you money. And if you're not making any donations or subs or whatever, then that means one of two things. Assuming that you're actually capable of doing so, because sometimes there's like a viewer threshold, like on Twitch you have to hit affiliate first. But assuming that you're there, there's 2 reasons as to why. Either 1, your chat room can't afford it, which is possible. Or 2, you're just not worth it. And yes, Twitch Thoughts are finally realizing that a lot of them just aren't worth it. This isn't the first time she's done this either.
Chat, I haven't got a donation or a sub for an hour. What the fuck? For an hour? What the fuck? An hour when I'm fucking working for free? What the fuck?
I've streamed for an hour without getting a donation. There are some Twitch streams that I do when I don't get any donations for the entire stream. That's fine. I'm there to be a professional and put on a show. Now, I know that there's technical difficulties and sometimes I'm late and I'm really bad at the games and sometimes I say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. I make mistakes all the time. So I don't know really how professional you can call me. But I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't start shrieking at my own chat and demanding that they pay me. This is the height of shallow. The funniest thing is, I noticed that in the background of those clips, the left was mentioned a few times, so I decided to look her up. She escaped the alt-right pipeline and now she talks about it. And there's the pronouns in the bio, there's the rose in the name. I am not surprised she is a radical leftist with an attitude like that. And of course we have the one that just happened. And to be honest, this person seems to be the most stuck up of the lot.
It doesn't really matter how much money you make or how much money you have. That's really the thing, because I'm not asking you for a large financial contribution. If it cost $20 to sub, $20 is quite a bit of money. $20 is you can get a full meal for $20. And the difference of $20 and eating a meal is in that $20. Like, that's where it is. But a sub is $5. At maximum, in whatever your currency is, it's maybe $10. And it doesn't matter how broke you are. If you have time to watch Twitch, you have $10, truly. If you don't have $10, you probably don't have time to watch Twitch because you should be working. You should be trying to earn money. It's not a ton. It's not like a ton of money.
Oh my fucking god. Listen to this bitch. It's not a ton of money. It's a tiny contribution. Well, then you don't need it, do you? $5, $10, not a ton of money. You'll be fine without it, just like I'll be fine without it. Why should I give it to you? Like, she said this during the coronavirus pandemic. Oh, you can't afford to sub to my Twitch? Go get a job. During a pandemic. Fuck you. Jesus Christ.
So being like, I'm broke, I can't afford to sub, that doesn't really track. What you mean to say is, I'm so irresponsible with my money, I can't support the entertainment that I enjoy.
Look at that smug fucking smile that she puts on after she says that. That doesn't really track. Oh my god. This bougie should have been aborted piece of shit. I can't believe it. Alright, here's the second half of it, second video.
Is, I'm so irresponsible with my money, I can't support the entertainment that I enjoy.
Jesus. Like, she has to convince herself that what she's saying is actually correct. Like, yes, I am right. Give me all of your money now.
If I want to go see a movie, but I can't afford to pay for the ticket, I mean, you can just download it. You don't have to sub. You can just watch without supporting it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And listen to the contempt she has for people who don't sub. Yeah, fuck you, dude. You're not worth subbing to.
I'm unemployed, so basically all my money goes to bills and food, or I would support you. Yeah. It's $5. It's really, like, no one's gonna convince me that what I'm saying is so rude, or so unacceptable, or so outrageous.
Oh my god, the guy confronts her with the fact that he's unemployed and living, like, dollar to dollar. And she's still like, yeah, no, give it to me. Oh, Jesus. Jesus Christ. This is like Elizabeth Warren taking people's last few bucks when she knows her campaign is already over. Now, this specific event went really viral, presumably because it's happening during a pandemic and it seems to be probably the most tone-deaf thing you could ever actually say on the platform. So Invader V actually issued an apology. And you'll notice just by the look of the apology, you can tell that she's kind of understood that a lot of the problem was that she was... Here, let me just go back and show you. See, in the old video, she looks almost otherworldly, and I'm sure she's putting that on. That's part of the appeal. But she's sitting there in her blanket fort, surrounded by a whole bunch of plushies, sitting on a giant, really comfortable chair, wearing those thigh highs. You're basically trying to look as attractive as she can make herself, and she does look quite attractive, but looking like almost as much of a casual princess as she can muster. But in this apology video, even before I press play on it, you can kind of tell. She's definitely trying to make herself look a bit more normal and down to earth. She's still attractive, obviously, but now she's like in a t-shirt and in just like kind of regular clothes with a regular hairstyle, and she's just very much like listen guys, I'm actually not this posh, bougie fuckwad. I am just like you. She's definitely playing the optics game.
You're here right now because you've seen a clip of me, and you're very angry about what I said in that clip. And you're justified in your anger. What I said was tone-deaf, insensitive, and stupid. And I recognize that. I recognize that there is no context that I can give that would excuse what I said, so I won't. I can only own what I said, and I will. The clip that you saw does not represent my true feelings. I've streamed for hundreds of hours, and I've said, support communities after you support yourself first. Subscribe if you have the disposable income to do so. But in that clip, I expressed opinions that I do not hold at all. I said things that I don't mean, and they were vile. It was the wrong thing to do. It was not the right way to deal with the situation. I don't hold that opinion, not truly, that $5 isn't a lot of money, because I know from my own experience that $5 means so much to different people. $5 is the difference between having a meal and having a roof over your head and not. $5 means different things to each individual person. And my comments, lumping everybody in together, was the definition of disconnected and inappropriate. Congus, so what comes next? Where do we go from here, Invader V? Respectfully, why did you feel the need to make the comment in the first place? Why did I feel the need to engage in that argument? There's no good reason.
As far as internet apologies go, that one's actually not that bad. It sounds like she gets why that's wrong. It sounds like she gets why she drew as much heat as she did. She does actually say, listen, I don't actually believe this, even though I said it, so you have to ask why you said it, but nonetheless. And she does say that, yeah, I know I said it, but I don't believe it, I don't feel that way. There is no context in which this is true. I have no good excuse for it, and I'm sorry. And that's better than a lot of internet apologies go, because there's definitely a lot of those non-apologies that you hear sometimes from people, where it turns out that, like, they're like, oh, I'm sorry it happened. It's like, well, I mean, it happened, you did it. Or it's like, I'm sorry you're offended by it. It's like, what do you mean you're sorry I'm offended? You did something that's objectively wrong beyond just mere offense. That's just pushing it off to somebody else. No, none of that happened here. She took complete responsibility. Basically said, like, it sounded like it was a one-time thing that was in the heat of the moment, that was happening during a specific discussion. Maybe she didn't choose her words all that well, but whatever the case may be, it's not how she actually feels, and she simply just happened to say it that one time and didn't really mean it. Okay. I would actually be inclined to believe that if I didn't just so happen to find this other clip from her stream very clearly on a different day, because there's a different outfit, a different hairstyle, the locations of the various plushes on the set have been moved, so very clearly this is a different day, and here she is saying the exact same thing.
She just made a comment that if you don't make enough money to sub, you should be working and not watching Twitch. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Go make me more money, pay pig. Your apology was fake. You gave it because you got caught. You have been saying this for a while.
If you can't afford $5, but you have ample time to watch Twitch, I think you need to reevaluate your financial priorities.
You know, if you're working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, just to pay off all those crazy loans that you have, or to pay for your family or whatever, or just trying to get by during these pandemic times, and you can't afford to give me $5, well, you still got 6 hours left in that day. Go get a third job.
It's just advice. It's just how I've dealt with my money.
I can see, based on what the fuck you're doing right now, how you deal with your money. I think I have a pretty good idea of where it all goes.
Very, very few streamers who are going to be like, you're dead broke and you're unemployed and that suits me just fine. Watch my channel for free as much as you want.
I'm one of them. If you're dead broke and unemployed and you want to come and watch my channel for free as much as you want, go ahead. There, I've put the link on the screen 10 times. Go ahead. I don't care. I'm happy to have viewers, man. Like, does she think that she speaks for all streamers? Does she think that everyone is just as rotten and corrupted and entitled as she is? There are people in my chat who never donate and never will, and I'm okay with that. It's fine. Obviously, I do like getting donations because it's how I pay my bills, but the idea is that there's no requirement. Like, it's something that you have to earn. You know, I don't know if she understands this just by looking at her, but you have to earn your way through life. You have to earn the money that you make. Twitch is not a job where you just hit up the punch clock and then get paid even if you don't even do anything because your union protects you or something. You actually have to work. You have to be worth it. And if this is the product you're presenting, with your looks, with your wardrobe, with your location, and your quality of commentary, and you're still not getting that much money, then there is no way that you are worth it.
Most people who stream ask for subs. Actually, every single streamer asks for subs. All of them do.
Yeah, ask, not demand. Not run guilt trips on people. Not shame them because they can't afford it, for fuck's sake.
Literally all of them do. But it's okay. A group of very pathetic little boys love to shame specifically women for this. So thank you for identifying yourselves. It's nice to see your little naked bottoms.
And yes, she actually goes there. At the end of the day, that is their defense. When these women are shrieking about not getting enough money from men, and men have reasonable, justifiable objections to that, they're insulted. They're man babies, they're man children, they're neckbeards, they're incels, they're virgins, whatever, doesn't matter. To these women, men exist to give them money, and that's it. I do not believe her apology was genuine whatsoever. I think she gave the apology because she saw the gravy train coming to an end, and she wanted to keep it going. Twitch streamers are the modern geisha. They play host. They entertain their viewers. They listen to what they have to say. They respond, at least sometimes. They perform a skill for their audience, usually a skill at gaming, sometimes comedy, and they do it with a pretense of friendship and familiarity. It's not quite exploitation because everyone who comes into a stream knows, or at least should know, what's going on. The streamer's job is to hang out with you, and it is to treat you like a friend, at least on some level, but that doesn't mean that they actually are your friend. It is to make you feel comfortable in their home, at least metaphorically, but that doesn't mean that you're invited into it. I can understand how a lot of the larger streamers can feel like it's hard to keep a distance between themselves and their fans, but there does have to be that distance so that the entire show can go on. The people who become obsessed with streamers, male or female, though it's usually female, or YouTubers or anyone else, and then ultimately start doing crazy things because of it. It's not healthy. It's self-destructive for them on so many levels. Financial, personal, in terms of their mental health and how they view themselves, in terms of maybe missing opportunities in real life that are far better than the simulation of a relationship. And it's certainly not good for the entertainers themselves. I know that the overwhelming majority of accusations of harassment on the internet are complete BS, but sometimes they're not. Most big YouTubers and streamers, even smaller ones, can tell you a story of how somebody tracked down their address and showed up at their house, or bumped into them IRL somewhere and just wouldn't leave them alone. And there are people who have simply stepped out of the limelight because they couldn't handle being stalked. I get it. But at the same time, this bullying your own fans into giving you money stuff is just as bad, if not worse. Because you have people like Amaranth who hide their relationship status because they know that if they appear to be single, desperate lonely guys will give them money. And it goes all the way up to those women who complain that the grift is no longer working, that there are no longer desperate guys giving them attention and cash anymore. But at the end of the day, they've all got it wrong. At least, I think they do. Maybe you can't argue with results, right? Like, I'm obviously not making as much as Amaranth. Amaranth has made millions of dollars on her online career at this point. I'm probably not making as much as Bad Bunny or Invader V or any of these other women who have been acting like complete monsters. They probably got me beat in the earnings category, and at least by some metrics, that's what counts. But it's not what counts to me. There was a guy in a weekly SIP stream recently, and I'm not going to reveal who it is because I'm sure it might be embarrassing to him, but he claimed that he was going to donate his last few bucks to me because he really liked my content, and he was going to go without food. And I told him not to do it. And I don't think anyone should do that. And I was actually prepared to refund that guy's money if he went through with it. If you're listening to me right now, and you can't afford to support my channel financially in any way, and it just so happens that you never will be able to throughout the entirety of your life or mine, I want you to know that that's completely fine by me. I do ask for subs, like Invader V says. Most streamers ask for subs. They do ask for donations. But there is a difference between asking and demanding. There is a difference between having a tip jar and paying for entry. If I was paying for entry, that's what I would do. I would make the stream sub only. You can do that on Twitch now, by the way. If Invader V believes that people are freeloading by watching her without subbing, make the stream sub only. A sub costs $5 on Twitch, only your subs can watch. There you go. Pay to enter. But she doesn't do that. None of these people do. Because on some level, they must understand that even if you take the human element out of it and be as cold and calculating as possible about this industry, that even people who do not pay anything are still valuable. Let's say you have a stream on Twitch of 500 people and you have 100 subs. Or maybe on YouTube, you have 500 people watching on YouTube and you get 100 super chats. Something like that, you know? Those 400 people who have not financially contributed to you directly, they're still meaningful. Again, outside of the human element, we're talking just raw numbers right now. Those people, they still may share the stream with their friends, assuming that you're doing a good enough job. And those friends may come and sub, even if the original guy can't afford to. Maybe they'll be able to sub further down the line. At the same time, having a higher view count means that you get bumped up in the search rankings on both YouTube and Twitch, and I assume other streaming sites as well. And if you're bumped up, that means more visibility, which means more viewers. It means that more people who are searching will find you before somebody else, and potentially tune into your stream, like what you're doing, and sub themselves. And yes, even though ad revenue is shit nowadays, people who don't pay still watch ads, and that still adds up, pardon the pun. And I don't know if it's just because I'm older, I'm from old YouTube, or maybe just because of my personality, I don't know. But if somebody watches me and never donates, and always ad blocks, and never comments, never upvotes so the algorithm isn't even affected, and never shares it, never does anything, just simply watches my videos in silence once to give them the one hit, and then just never comes back again, and never interacts, never spreads it, never does anything, and simply consumes the content itself and then moves on, I'm actually okay with that. That means that I've done something that is worthwhile enough that somebody else is willing to give 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, however the length of the video is. They're willing to give that amount of time of their day, because time is a more valuable resource than money. And time really is the great equalizer, because we all have the same amount of it. It doesn't matter how rich you are, the days don't get any longer. And if you spend 8 hours sleeping, 8 hours working, maybe an hour or two commuting, a few hours with your family and friends, and you decide to sit down and watch YouTube for a few minutes, those last few minutes are precious to you. And if you choose to spend them on me, that is, in some ways, worth more than money. I can't pay my bills with it, obviously, so I still do like getting money, but I don't treat it as nothing. I think it's very important. It means that I'm on the right track. It means that I'm doing something that is worthwhile. Even if the financials don't show it, it means that I also have value, just like you do. And I find that to be very meaningful. So while I do like getting donations because I have to pay my own bills and I do view this as a job and I do work at it like it's a real job, I will never say you have to. That's not going to stop me from asking. I mean, I'm sure you guys have known by now, it's probably a meme at this point, how during streams or at the end of videos or whatever, I shill my gaming channel, I shill Game Boomers, because Game Boomers doesn't have the same name recognition that Short Fat Otaku does, and yet I still put just as much work into that project as I do into this one, and I think I put out a pretty good quality product. I think it's worth your time, which is why I shill it. But I only ask that you consider it. I say, hey, if gaming streams or Let's Plays are your bag, then come watch Game Boomers tonight. I stream on it every night. I don't say, you have to come watch or else I'm going to ban you, or you're not a good fan or something. I don't do that. It seems counterproductive, you know? To be liked, you have to be likable. To have value, you have to work at being valuable. If people are going to donate to you, you have to be worth donating to. I feel like at this point I'm just going in circles. I'm just kind of ranting. I'm unscripted in this part of the video now, if you can't tell, so I don't exactly know what I'm trying to say, but I guess that's why I end my videos with I love you all the time, because, well, on some level I do. Some of you have given me quite a bit of money so that I can survive and continue to make this content. Some of you can't afford to, and all you can do is watch. And yet that's still just as meaningful, at least in my mind. And I wouldn't be as far as I've gotten without you guys, so yeah. I'll see you in the next video. I love you.